Hey, it's Mike with TechBB, and let's go ahead and do the review on the Planet Eclipse SLS. And I gotta tell you what's kind of funny about these guns, and they're always, when I get the review done on the SL model of the Planet Eclipse guns, it's almost a sigh of relief for me because these guns are so expensive and they're so, you know, there's such a limited run of them. You know, you can't just go and, you know, this is a gun that basically I can't wait to do a review on. Basically, once it comes out, you know, I need to place my order for one, which usually causes me to sell like 3 or 4 of my other guns. And then, you know, get it before they don't run, you know, before they run out of them, because if I don't do the review on it, I'm going to start getting email. Why didn't you do the review on that one? You know, it went all the way back to like the SL8R and then the SL94 and then now, of course, with the SLS. So this is the one review a year that I can't wait to get to, because I've got to save up a ton of money to do it, and then usually I need to get my money back because, you know, the next Ego, like the Ego 11, if they're coming out with an Ego 11, I'm going to need to get my money back out of this one in order to go buy it. So I don't know, maybe one of the few times maybe I wish I was on Dynasty or something like that. But, you know, we got the SLS. And you guys saw I did a ton of videos at it. It seemed like I might have been shooting more 50 caliber through the Ego 10 or the SLS than shooting 68 paint. It wasn't the case. It was just the videos that I was putting up more often were of the 50 caliber because it's been a really hot topic. But I gotta tell you, the SLS, no disappointments here at all when I was using it out there on the field. I will tell you that the gun does seem to have a break-in period more so than any other guns that I've used. I don't know what it is about the Egos, but you know, once you hit about 10,000 shots, they really seem to settle down. They seem to be a lot more consistent over the chronograph. They seem to shoot a little bit smoother. I don't know what it is, but you know, and I definitely was the case here. When I first got it, you know, it was about plus or minus 15 or 20 over the chronograph. And then after about 10,000 shots, after I relubed it, definitely seemed to settle down quite a bit. There we go. But you know, out of the box, you know, the SL, they're basically always going to be, you know, Planet Eclipse's most state-of-the-art Ego, and also gives you a little bit of introduction of what they're going to introduce into their next line of Ego. That's how I tend to see it. The SLs are basically a sneak preview into some of the technology that they're going to incorporate coming out with the Ego 11. And this one, some of the things that you'll probably see in the upcoming Egos that came on this one was some of the interchangeable inserts, which we'll get into here in a little bit. You know, but that, you know, this gun had no complaints with it. Something that I was kind of disappointed not to see that was not in this version of the SL, it was in some of the previous ones, was the fixed knob. I don't know if you guys remember, they had the shorter knobs. They didn't include that in the SLS. I don't know why. Maybe just, you know, I don't know why, but they, for whatever reason, didn't include that little round knob, the fixed low pressure regulator. But you know, you get a lot with the SL. You get 2 triggers, which I actually really like the classic trigger, which is more of a stick styled straight down trigger. I personally like that trigger better than the S trigger. That's just me. For me, playing PSP, that stick trigger that just goes down is probably, for me, it feels a little bit more comfortable than the curve trigger. Curve trigger I would really like for semi-auto, but for PSP, which is the majority of what I play, I really like the standard trigger. You also now get the new E-portal, which is something that I didn't particularly get into that much. Once I set my guns up, I set my guns up. But, you know, and I'm a terrible computer artist, but Jesus, you know, so I like the boot up screen as it was. And it's something that I didn't get into, but there's a lot of people that really like, when you're going to drop this kind of money, almost $1,900 US on a gun, they're going to want to get as many bells and whistles as you can possibly get. Well, you know, you've got a DVD here, you've got the USB cable, and you also have an adapter that you need to plug into your board in order to plug it into the computer, and you can mess around with your parameters, including your boot up screen and stuff like that. It's kind of cool. You get 2 manuals with your gun. You get with the SL, you're going to get the standard manual, which is just a basic Ego 10 manual, and you're also going to get the feature supplement, which is the SL manual. And basically we'll go through it really quick. It just goes through and talks a little bit about the you know, the different parts that you get in here. Like for instance, the you get 2 different valve guides, which is nice. You get a high pressure and a low pressure valve guide, 2 different triggers, which we talked about. We're going to talk about, I'm going to show you how to do the different bolt inserts. They've got a like a muffler, a silencer insert, the standard ramped insert, and a spindle. When I first started out, I was using the spindle insert. If you go and download the manual, you'll see what I'm talking about. Talks about how to install the Cure 3 bolt inserts, which I'll talk about here in a little bit, and something else, and let's talk about that. Kind of a new thing that Planet Eclipse is going now. If this was Kingman, I'd be really pissed off. But since Planet Eclipse regulators are really nice, one of the things that they went with, they went to a new, it's a female regulator to a male. I got this tightened on here. You have to use a wrench to get it off. But basically, you can't take a standard regulator and put it on here. So I don't know what their motivation was to do that. Maybe they were afraid of, you know, maybe getting sick and tired of fixing people's guns with aftermarket junk regulators that are on there. But you know, they went to a different standard for their regulators. You cannot just take a standard regulator and put it on here. It's kind of interesting that some of the high-end companies are starting to do that. Dye started doing that. Now Planet Eclipse is starting to do that as well. With the, you know, basically it's a proprietary regulator system. But no complaints with the standard Planet Eclipse regulator. It's just now you can't take this and put a custom products regulator on there. And let's go through the feature supplement here, see if there's anything else I missed. They just go through and talk about the, you know, how to take apart the regulator and stuff like that. But it is pretty nice to see when you're purchasing a gun of this expense, and they went through the, or they went to the added expense of putting in a manual showing you exactly what you paid for. Pretty cool. And of course you get, you know, you get your lube, you get your parts kit, you get your Allen keys, you also get your barrel sock. Planet Eclipse by far, and also a gun case. Let's not forget about that. Planet Eclipse by far has some of the best packaging for paintball guns in the industry right now. Even going all the way down to their E-Techs, even their E-Tech 3, even their LT, which is their, you know, $500 marker, has some of the best packaging in paintball. Beats some of the packaging in the guns going over $1,000, which is kind of nice. And the funny thing I'll tell you about the new wide LCD screen, you don't realize how wide this thing is until you take a look at, you know, like a Ego 9. It looks tiny, but the nice wide LCDs or you know, OLED board is really nice. You can, you know, you can choose your different colors that are on here. You know, so the parameters are still pretty much the same with the exception of the screen color. You know, you still don't get full auto with Planet Eclipse guns and stuff like that. You basically get ramp, semi-auto. That's it. But let's go ahead and start taking it apart really quick. Let's talk about the Cure 3 bolt and how you can change the inserts, and then we'll go out and do a the efficiency test, and then come back for the conclusion. Okay, now let's go ahead and weigh it, and we'll go ahead and set it on the scale. Okay, the light gun, 1 pound. 13 ounces, 1 pound, 13 ounces, and you should be able to see, you know, this turns on, no problem there. So now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and let me show you how to change out the bolt inserts. So we've got the 2 bolt inserts here. We've got the muffler, and we also have the spindle bolt insert. Now the trick here is you want to push the bolt halfway, you want to push the pin about halfway down, and then what you want to do is rotate it 90 degrees, and then once you do that, you can pull it out. There we go. Now out will come the spring and the detent, and then from here you want to grab a pencil, like a soft eraser on top, and you go in through the front of the bolt, and out comes the insert. Okay, so as you can see here, that was the ramped insert. And just for fun, we'll go ahead and put in the muffler. And we'll just go ahead and push it in with our finger, and we'll line it up. And then now let's go ahead and put in the detent. Now here's kind of the tricky part. You're gonna need to press down with an Allen key, press the detent down while putting this back in at the 90-degree angle. So press this down with an Allen key. There it goes. and we've put in the muffler insert. So I used all three of them. When I first started the gun, I was using the spindle insert. Probably my favorite one would be the muffler insert. No, I don't have a decibel meter to measure how much, how much quieter it is. Did it work? Yes, I did notice it. The gun did seem to shoot a little bit quieter. Instead of more of a pow, it was more of like a chuff. Not much. I mean, I don't want to say it turned it from a, from a ego to a droid by any stretch of the imagination, but it definitely did sound like it made it a little bit quieter. Could be completely psychological, I have no idea, but I did notice that it did make it a little bit quieter. So, and this is proven technology also, this little muffler design, because this is also what is in, you do see a similar design to this in the, the Proto SLG. It's got a little muffler like that, and you can definitely tell it makes a little bit of a difference up there. Okay, so now that we've got, showed you how to change the insert, let's go ahead and start taking apart the regulators. Okay, so let's go ahead and start taking apart the ego. And let's go ahead and start removing the ram cap. Here we go. Now you can start to see quite a bit of stuff going on here with the new ZIC 2. With the O-ring inside here, it's also got a little purge hole on the side here. It's got the urethane bumper, so definitely a lot of stuff going into, or a lot of technology going into the rammer here with the ZIC 2. I mean, the gun, as you saw, 1 pound, 13 ounces, one of the lightest guns on the market. You definitely need to take steps, which Planet Eclipse did, towards reducing some of the recoil that you're going to get with this gun. And let's go ahead and drop the rammer back into place. There we go. And let's go ahead and remove the LPR. Pretty simple stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and remove the piston. Clean it up. Put whatever your favorite lube is on here. Obviously, Planet Eclipse includes the gun oil, which works great. That silicone gun oil works great. If you've got another favorite lube, go ahead and use it. And now I'll show you this new regulator design with the proprietary threading, just so you're aware of it. As you can see here, there is no male threading at the top of this regulator. The threading is right here on the body of the marker. So, like I said, luckily Planet Eclipse makes a really good regulator. Go ahead and pull the spring out. Out comes the piston, and that's about it. Now there are some user serviceable parts down inside here. I'm not really going to get into it. They've got a new reg seat in there which you can flip over, which works really well. But there's not really a lot of user, in terms of general maintenance, you shouldn't really have to go down there unless you have a problem. So. There we go. And that's about 99% of the maintenance that you'll need to perform on the SL Ego. So let's go ahead and go out and do an efficiency test and come back for the conclusion. Hey, what's up guys, it's Mike and I'm here with Josh, and we are going to be doing the efficiency test on the Planet Eclipse SLS. So what I need to do is let's go ahead and get the camera off the tripod, and we're going to show you a couple things here. First thing, let's go ahead and take a tank temperature reading. We are sitting at about 99 degrees on the tank. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tip this up here so you can see the tank. And we are sitting just a little over 4,000 PSI. We're sitting right around about 4,100 PSI. So now what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and hand this to Josh. And then let's go ahead and load up our first pod. Okay, let's go ahead and turn on the chronograph. And let's see where we're shooting. So you try putting it like right about there. There you go, try now. Okay, so we're a little low. Let's go ahead and raise it up a little bit. Let's raise this up just a little bit. Okay, now shoot another couple. 81, let's go up a little higher. Okay, shoot a couple more. Okay, I'm gonna go up just a little more. Okay, try it now. 4, 2, shoot it on. Again. Okay, that looks good to me. So we're sitting pretty close. That last shot was about 297. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my mask on here and set up the camera. All right, and we're gonna shoot till we run out of paint. Run out of air. Go ahead. See what else we get out of it. Got it. Alright, cool. So we'll load that back in again.
What are you shooting, Mike?
SLS. So out of the SLS, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. About 8.5 pods. You can say hi, Chai. Yeah, say hi, Chai.
Hi, Chai.
All right, so let's come back and we'll do our conclusion here. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, it did appear that I was using or shooting more 50 cal through this gun than 68. Definitely not the case, but I will tell you that based on what I've seen out there right now, the best 50 cal gun on the market right now is the Planet Eclipse gun. Okay, it smokes all the spiders, it smokes the GI Milsim guns. The 50 cal kit that Planet Eclipse makes for their Egos and their E-Techs and stuff like that is awesome. I mean, it just works great. So, I mean, no complaints here on the 50 cal kit that I had for the SL or shooting 68 for that matter. Now, the funny thing is when I get emails from people that are just getting into paintball, one of the things they'll ask when it comes to the SL is, you know, why would someone drop, you know, almost $1,900 on a paintball gun? Well, you've got to understand that you're buying a lot more than just the gun. You know, what you're getting is you're basically getting the best that Planet Eclipse has to offer. Now, generally the people that purchase an SL, these aren't first-time Planet Eclipse owners, okay? Most of the people that are purchasing the SL are people that have been, you know, that have purchased Planet Eclipse guns in the past. Planet Eclipse has earned their loyalty as customers, And when the time is right and the money was there and they saved up and, you know, they released the gun, those loyal customers went out and purchased the SL. You know, it's a great, you know, it's a great tactic to have. You know, Planet Eclipse, by all means, has got great customer service. You see them at all the events. That's not cheap, okay? They've got great packaging with all of their markers that they sell, even going all the way down to the most expensive, you know, inexpensive ones. Look at some of the recent media they've been kicking out on the web page, you know, on their website. Look at their YouTube channel. Some amazing media that they've been putting out, their documentary on their professional teams they sponsor and stuff like that, okay? And on top of that, all the hard goods and the soft goods and stuff like that. You wrap all of that up, you're talking about building some amazing customer loyalty. And you know, when customers are loyal, they're loyal with you all the way to the end. And when, you know, they're loyal to you and you come out with a great product and you come out with something that is a little bit more expensive and just gives basically everything that they have to offer, there are going to be some customers that are going to pay for it. Now that's why they don't mass produce the SL. There's not 50,000 of them out there. There's only a couple hundred. And the customers that Planet Eclipse has won over through all the years of good customer service and coming out with great soft goods as well, plus the media on the website and all that stuff, that all gets encompassed into a person's, you know, decision. Do I just get the Ego 10? Or do I save a couple extra months this year and get the SLS? Those are the kind of people that buy the SL version guns. These are people that are diehard Planet Eclipse fans that have been treated well by Planet Eclipse in the past, and when all the stars aligned, they had the money to purchase this kind of gun. Me personally, no complaints about this gun whatsoever. It shot amazing with 50 cal. It worked great through all the experimental shit that I threw at it, including my hopper mods and all the stuff that I was doing to this gun that obviously was not really what it was designed to do. It was designed to shoot 68. But it worked great, never broke paint. You know, no problems with it whatsoever. I mean, you turn the thing on, your first shot over the chronograph is great, you know, and come off the field after shooting 2 or 3 cases and it still shoots great. So the DefTech, the offset feed neck, which I know is kind of a tripping point for a lot of people. They don't like the fact that the feed neck is just slightly offset with the Planet Eclipse. But I gotta tell you, I mean, the balls lock in there, they don't bounce around. You don't get chops with the gun. It just works great. It shoots paint. If I did have one complaint for it, it would be an ergonomic complaint just from somebody of my size, is that, you know, I'm 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", whether I'm wearing high heels or not. And the one thing that I notice is that when I grip the gun, my palm tends to go into the a little bit into the trigger frame. So as you can see there, when I go to grip the trigger, you know, grip the regulator to shoot, my palm does go a little bit into the trigger frame. Now I did notice that with the new Geo 2, that they actually reached the regulators a little further forward than what it is on the SL. I personally like that. Maybe people that are a little smaller than me may not like that. They may like the nice tight setup, but this is a very tight setup. I mean, I can grip from the back of the grip frame to the front of the reg with one hand. So, you know, I don't quite have Shaquille O'Neal hands, but if you are a bigger player, you know, above 6 foot tall, I would definitely recommend to at least maybe hold the Ego 10 first and make sure that the ergonomics are going to work for you before you spend this kind of money on a marker. Maybe something a little bit more stretched out may work a little bit better for you. Or, you know, there are some players that adapt, and what they do is they wrap their pointer finger around the regulator, which forces their palm away from the trigger frame, or the trigger guard. So that's about it with the SLS, man. It's a great shooting gun. I do like the different inserts that are in there. I wish we had a decibel meter. You know, maybe one day, you know, we get a decibel meter, we'll start testing this kind of stuff out too here. Does it truly silence the sound? It shoots great. Like I said, not a lot of complaints from this gun at all. You know, it worked well shooting the 50 cal. It worked well shooting the 68. You know, other than just like I said, with me, with my hands being a little bit bigger, and my palm getting into the trigger well, or into the trigger guard, that's about the only real issue I have with the gun. But other than that, man, it shoots great. So definitely check out Planet Eclipse's website if you want more information on the SLS. They've got a great feature video on their YouTube channel. And that about wraps it up for Planet Eclipse SLS, man. It was a great shooting gun. Thanks for tuning in.